The next person I want to talk about is Aldo Leopold, and you may have read some of his writings. He was a person who came up with the idea of another land ethic, another approach to protecting natural areas that is known as the evolutionary ecological land ethic, often just referred to as the land ethic, but it's looking at a broader evolutionary ecological approach to conservation. He is really known as the founder of wildlife conservation to start protecting all wildlife. And he says that the goal of land management is to maintain the health of natural ecosystems and ecological processes. That there needs to be the diversity, the complexity in those systems to allow things to change over time, that the systems are dynamic, evolution is occurring. You have to allow species an opportunity to evolve and change as the environment changes, and that's particularly important now that we look at climate change and see how quickly things are changing. And he says that just putting a fence around an area and saying, I've protected it, it's a preservationist philosophy, is not enough. That people have always been a part of the system, that people can help and aid the system, and people can also destroy the system. If we've removed something from the system, we should restore it. If we've taken the wolves out of Yellowstone, we should put the wolves back into Yellowstone. If we've added something into the system that doesn't belong, we should take it out and restore the system. So if we have an invasive species that's taking over, we should actively remove that species. The idea is for there to be active management of these natural areas in order to improve them and to ensure their stability into the future. For example, if you have a piece of farmland in New Jersey and there's a nice little woodlot on your farmland, it's not enough just to say, I'm going to protect that woodlot, because over the long term it might not be terribly viable. There might not be the birds there to disperse the seeds. There might not be the organisms to enrich the soil. You might go in there and help that woodlot. You might go in there and put up some birdhouses, or you might add a little pond into it, and that'll attract wildlife that is going to add to the complexity, the diversity of the system, and lead to the long-term stability of that system. So really, he's integrating the human impact on the environment into what was a preservationist philosophy. It's expanding that preservationist philosophy. A couple of things that he has written that were very important. One is a book called the Sand County Almanac, and what he did, sort of like Walden Pond, he went off to move his family to a piece of land where they had over-farmed the land. The soil was depleted, it was covered in weeds, and the idea was to restore this into a useful, productive piece of land. And this is a series of essays. It's very easy to find a copy of it. You can probably find a free copy online of an ebook, and very short essays that are easy to read and give you an idea as to what this philosophy was all about and what it's based on. And he was a trained forester, and he wrote a paper in the Journal of Forestry, which is a scientific journal of professional foresters, and his paper was called A Biotic View of the Land, and it outlined this philosophy. And it was so influential to forestry that the U.S. Forest Service adopted the land ethic, the evolutionary ecological land ethic, instead of the resource conservation ethic. And in adopting the land ethic, then, it broadened the expanse of what the U.S. Forest Service was doing. The U.S. Forest Service was not going to be solely responsible for just the trees, but you had to look at the entire functioning ecosystem, and that you needed to leave certain areas alone if they were important habitat for breeding of rare species or migratory birds, and other areas that you could manage in a more ecologically, evolutionarily stable way.